Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens 2. Rebirth of Emperor Yan Part 18 based on novel. So let's start. In the main hall, everyone looked at the cloud eyebrows sitting on the Lord with some doubts and looked at each other. They all saw the same look from other people's eyes. Yuan Qing was also slightly stunned by Yunmei's words, and then returned to his mind. After a little thought, Yuan Qing finally told the truth. Deacon Hui Yunmei, my words are my own thoughts, not entrusted by Xiao Yan. Wow! As soon as Yuan Qing said this, the whole audience was in an uproar. All this was just Yuan Qing's own idea. It's hard to understand that Yuan Qing spent so much words to say good words for a man who had only one face and wanted to recruit him into Yangxianzong. At this time, some people can't help thinking, is it difficult? What happened to Yuan Qing by Xiao Yan? Otherwise, with Yuan Qing's character, how can he be so considerate for no reason? Yunmei nodded slightly when she heard the speech, and then asked Yuan Qing. If so, there must be a reason? Otherwise, how can you, an elder of the Cloud Fairy sect in the Middle Region, do so much for one person just because of his talent? Yuan Qing smiled when she heard Yang Shanshan. Then she opened her mouth and said to Yunmei. Deacon Yunmei is really powerful. Speaking of it, I just want to repay Xiao Yan's life-saving kindness. I think if he is recruited into our Yangxianzong, he can not only repay his kindness, but also let us Yangxianzong have another Qianzong wizard. That's why he's like this. Oh? Help? Didn't he beat the old devil away? Yunmei frowned slightly at the speech and asked with a little doubt. Yuan Qing nodded slightly and continued to say to Yunmei. Yes, although the old devil was beaten away by Xiao Yang at that time, the last move of the old devil hurt my body. Deacon Yunmei should also know that people like me who are not strong enough to fight the emperor have damaged their flesh. If there is no other people's fresh flesh or any refining method of flesh, then in the end, they will die. At that time, there were only me, the old devil and Xiao Yan, and there would be no other fresh human flesh. As soon as this remark came out, people knew it well without Yuan Qing going to explain it more. If there is no body, then only some secret methods of refining the body can save him. Not everyone can have that kind of secret method. Even if it is Yangxianzong, it is only available at the top of the sect. As soon as they thought of this, their eyes lit up. Even the cloud eyebrows sitting on the Lord's seat lit up slightly in their eyes. Xiao Yang not only saved Yuan Qing, but also took the body refining method, which made people's views on Xiao Yang have to be changed. Xiao Yang's talent has already amazed everyone. Coupled with his ability, this Xiao Yang already has the conditions for them to take the initiative to win over. Xiao Yang's body refining method alone was enough to bring down most of the people in the hall. After all, no one here, even with Yunmei, has reached the level of fighting the emperor. In this way, Xiao Yang's secret method is a great reliance on the life security of everyone in the field. Yunmei frowned slightly and looked at the chaotic people below. A look of impatience appeared on his old face. He lifted his left hand and stroked him slightly in front of him. An invisible pressure diffused from Yunmei's body. There was a little noisy and lively atmosphere in the field, which suddenly became silent. Yunmei glanced across the audience. Finally, he gave a cold hum and looked at Yuan Qing. Yunmei looked at Yuan Qing, nodded, looked appreciative in her eyes, smiled, and then smiled and said, "It's good that you can be so grateful. What I need is people like you. Only such an honest person can make me stronger." Ha ha ha. The voice didn't fall. Before everyone reacted, Yunmei looked positive again. Then he opened his mouth and asked Yuan Qing. However, since you decide all this by yourself, Xiao Yang may not agree to join us, right? When they heard the speech, they all looked a little stunned. Then they looked at Yuan Qing with some worry in their hearts. Yuan Qing was stunned by Yunmei's words, which he never thought of. Indeed, this is just his own idea. When he thinks so, he really wants to win over Xiao Yang, and it is not the kind of win over to the hearts of these people here. Through Xiao Yan's various behaviors and Xiao Yan's final confirmation, Yuanqing has been identified. This Xiao Yan must be a child of some hidden power. Moreover, his identity is by no means ordinary. This can be known from the old devil heard his name and lost his voice. The old devil knows Xiao Yan. Probably, his purpose is to catch Xiao Yan and threaten the forces behind him. The identity of Sanxio was also what Xiao Yan asked Yuanqing to say. Yuanqing agreed to Xiao Yan without hesitation. In Yuanqing's opinion, Xiao Yan's doing so is entirely to prevent his identity from being exposed and bring disaster to himself. Therefore, Yuanqing wanted to use this to let Xiao Yan enter Yangxianzong. On the one hand, he covered up his identity. On the other hand, he secretly pulled a powerful force for Yangxianzong. This is a great achievement for Yangxianzong. If we recruit Xiao Yan into Yangxianzong, as long as we have a good relationship with him, the overall strength of Yangxianzong can be improved by leaps and bounds in a short time. But unfortunately, if Yuanqing knew Xiao Yan's real background, I'm afraid he wouldn't think so. Yuanqing frowned and thought for a long time. Finally, she took a deep breath. Her eyes suddenly became firm and said, Deacon Yunmai, my subordinates will persuade Xiao Yang to join our Yangxianzong and recruit this Qianzong wizard for our zone. Yunmai picked up her eyebrows when she heard the speech, and looked at Yuanqing's firm look. Her eyelids were slightly low, her eyes turned, and there was no language. Then he looked up at Yuanqing, smiled and nodded, and then he said, It's good that you have this heart. Since it's for our Yangxianzong, I wish you success in recruiting it into our Yangxianzong. Before the words fell, Yunmai looked positive again, and then said, Remember, no matter whether he finally agrees to join Yangxianzong or not, he should make friends with him. Since he is a genius, don't provoke him easily. At least, keep a good relationship. Don't make enemies for Yangxianzong, otherwise, it's up to you. Yuanqing quickly nodded at the speech, but then Yunmai looked at Yuanqing with a slight light, smiled and said, You're lucky. It's a blessing in disguise. I think your fighting spirit has reached the bottleneck. You must break through it? Before Yuanqing could speak, Yunmai said again, In that case, I have a pill here. Take it. As soon as the voice fell, I saw a wave of Yunmai's sleeve robe, a streamer shot out, and Yuanqing took it in his hand. Then after Yuanqing thanked, he dismissed the people in the hall. Yunmai sat alone on the Lord, looked up at the sky outside the temple and muttered. Is it true that the person they are looking for this time, as Yuanqing said, is Xiao Yan? But how can it be different from the past? What are these guys doing? A group of old stubborn and hateful guys unexpectedly postponed my coming out for a month. I'm so angry. Look, if I come out this time and don't go back for a year and a half, I'll write my name upside down. On the street, an old man dressed in ordinary clothes and looking a little sloppy was walking on his own, completely ignoring the disgust of the passers-by. While walking, he murmured and cursed, which annoyed several passers-by. Abusing people indiscriminately in the street, if not these people, I'm afraid it's easy to cause misunderstanding. Or if someone in the world sees his jade card hanging around his waist, I'm afraid it will cause great unrest at the moment. Several people who didn't notice the jade card also noticed the jade card under the reminder of others. Immediately, their faces changed greatly. After thanking the person who reminded them, they quickly left here bitterly. Because on that jade plate, they saw the identity representative of the most powerful force in this region. It's just a word. It's called Xiao. The overlord here is the Xiao family, and in this Xiao city, no one dares to provoke the Xiao family. The old man seemed to find his own difference, frowned slightly, his big sleeve fell down, covered the jade card, and then raised it again. However, unlike before, at this moment, the jade card representing the whole Xiao family has disappeared. The old man, however, showed a smile and left the city, Xiaocheng. With the sound of a broken wind, a man in white appeared on the top of a mountain. When the wind and waves hit, Xiao Yang's clothes were agitated and his hair danced. Xiao Yang took a deep breath of cool air and felt the wind around him. He smiled at the corners of his mouth and moved. he took a gust of wind and disappeared on the top of the mountain. The next moment, a gust of wind swept over the forest in the distance, and the trees within a radius of hundreds of feet were swayed and rattled by the wind. Xiao Yan's figure appeared at the end of a tree. Listening to the noise in his ear, he glanced at the leaves all over the sky. Xiao Yan flashed again and disappeared. Xiao Yan's figure kept flashing and disappearing, and the sunny and vast world was also howling, and the wind kept sweeping the world. Drink! Suddenly, Xiao Yan suddenly gave a violent drink in his throat, his body stood in the void, his arms were open, and the suction in his hand suddenly appeared. Between heaven and earth, there was a gust of wind and clouds, dark clouds rolling, and the sky suddenly became dark. Xiao Yan's steps moved slightly and stepped out of a mysterious step. The suction in his hand increased sharply. His figure moved and disappeared in place with a fierce wind. But the strong wind, as if it had been ordered, rolled away in the distance. The wind is stirring, and the wind is trembling between heaven and earth, like the roar of a wild dragon. The invisible wind swept the broad leaves of the forest, forming a long green dragon, swimming in the sky. The long dragon is entrenched in the sky, and the dragon head is raised high. Although it is transformed by the wind and cloud, at this time, there is still a sense of despotism. But when the dragon was entrenched and the dragon head was raised, a figure in white suddenly appeared on the dragon head, his hands lost behind him, and his mouth was with a shallow smile. With a wave of Xiao Yan's big sleeve, the big guy like a real dragon at his feet turned into fallen leaves and flew down. At this time, suddenly, an old voice with a little smile came, only listening to his words. Ha ha, that's right. It's only the first time I tried to use the wind and cooperate with your footwork. I successfully performed the wind in the Jinjue step. It can also be regarded as a good practice. Hearing Gu's words, Xiao Yan smiled with joy and thanked Gu. Thanks to the enlightenment of Gu Lao, I can cultivate the wind state of Jubu this day with the momentum of 3,000 thunder and the wind of Jubu. Only then can I practice so fast. Gu also laughed when she heard the speech and continued. It's extremely fast to practice the first realm according to the requirements of the second realm, Lingyun realm. You think you're practicing the first realm, but if you say it in detail, you're practicing the second realm, Lingyun realm. If you think about it, you've practiced Lingyun so you can catch the wind. Xiao Yang nodded admiringly, and then said, if I insist on using this method to practice Jinjue step, I think I can really step into Xiaoqing in less than 2 months, the first state of Jinjue step, the state of wind. After that, he stopped practicing and found a place to rest. Gu also smiled with appreciation and didn't speak. The way of cultivation is to focus on step by step. Blindly practicing will only lead to failure because of being too eager for quick success and instant benefit. That's the truth. Xiao Yang sat on the top of a mountain. The burning dew skill in his body worked slowly and absorbed the energy between heaven and earth. Suddenly, Xiao Yang seemed to think of something and retired from the cultivation state. The palm turned over and a jade bottle appeared in Xiao Yang's hand. At the same time, Xiao Yang also shouted in his heart. Bone old, I have one thing to ask for advice. Please come out and see me. As soon as the voice fell, a light beam was emitted from the fire seal in the center of Xiao Yang's eyebrows. It constantly changed in front of Xiao Yang and finally became an old man. It was Gu. Seeing Xiao Yan's eager face, Gu also picked up his eyebrows slightly. Without asking more, he also sat on the ground, waiting for Xiao Yang to speak. Xiao Yang saw Gu sitting on the ground, came forward with both hands and sent a jade bottle to Gu. Gu frowned slightly when he saw this eyebrow, looked at Xiao Yang, saw Xiao Yang nod, Gu frowned and took the jade bottle in his hand. Gu looked at the jade vase lying flat in the palm of his hand, but he didn't see any difference. Without thinking, Xiao Yang's goal should be in this jade bottle. Gu opened the jade bottle slowly in Xiao Yang's slightly side eyes. A milky white light mass the size of a thumb slowly floated out of the jade bottle. The bone you saw, the eyebrow was picked, and a surprised color appeared on his face. The palm extends forward, the brilliance in the hand appears, and the light mass is wrapped in it. Then he looked at Xiao Yan and said slowly, "Who is this man? He can still live." At the moment, Gu's face was shocked, his pupils were shrinking, and his mouth was half open and half closed. Looking at the milky white light floating in the air above his palm, he couldn't come back for a long time. Xiao Yan is also an old man with a dumb face. The elder is the elder. Although this wisp of remnant soul is already fragile, you can still guess it. Based on this alone, Xiao Yan decided that he could really find the method he had been looking for a long time in Guyo. A moment later, Gu slowly put away the light in the palm, put it into the jade bottle and returned it to Xiao Yan. Gu stood up, leaned sideways, frowned tightly and sighed deeply. Then he turned his head and looked at Xiao Yang. Gu slowly opened his mouth and said to Xiao Yang, "If I guess correctly, do you want me to help you repair his soul?" Xiao Yang was not surprised when he heard the speech. Since Guyo had seen the ghost, he should be able to guess the purpose he wanted. Therefore, Xiao Yang also nodded slowly, with a little sigh, and admitted this. Gu saw this, but he nodded slightly, and then looked up at the sky, which made Xiao Yang's heart a little tight and a little worried. After a long time, Gu Yotsai asked Xiao Yang again, "What does this person have to do with you?" Xiao Yang was surprised when he heard this. After a little thought, he said, "He is my ancestor. In order to help me break through the soul of the empire and ignite the power of the soul, I can finally improve my strength, so..." Before Xiao Yang finished his words, Guyo said again, "So you want to save him in return for his good fortune to you? Am I right?" Xiao Yang saw this, his eyelids were slightly low, nodded and didn't speak. The bone is quiet, the eyebrows are deeply locked, and there is no language for a long time. After a long time, he shook his head, turned a white eye towards Xiao Yang, looked a little blaming and slowly said, "What a careless little fellow. It's such a difficult problem when I call the old man out. I really don't know how to respect the old man." Xiao Yang suddenly got up and showed a look of joy on his face. He didn't refute Gu's ridicule. But his eyes were red, staring at Gu, panting in his mouth, like an old bachelor. Suddenly he saw a beautiful woman. Let the bones be quiet. They all look like they can't laugh or cry. It was not until a long time that Xiao Yang slowly recovered his composure, but he could still see the excitement in his heart at the moment. Gu looked at Xiao Yang, whose mood was slowly restored to calm, smiled helplessly, stretched out his hand and pressed it falsely, so that Xiao Yang could stabilize first. Then he sighed again and said slowly, "Your ancestor, indeed, still has a breath of life." At this point, Gu gave a slight meal, but Xiao Yang brightened his eyes, which he didn't detect. Xiao Yang had never detected the slightest breath of life before. Without waiting for Xiao Yang to speak, Gu took a deep breath and then said, "Don't be happy too early. It's still unknown whether your ancestor will be resurrected. Because his remnant soul is too fragile, and because of this, there are basically no natural and earth treasures that can be used to warm up his soul. So, don't have too much hope. The only way I can provide you is to use your own ability to protect him as much as possible." Xiao Yang smelled the speech and looked hopeful. At the moment, he also seemed a little depressed. Xiao Xian, for him, for the whole Xiao family, is really too important. If it weren't for Xiao Xian, Xiao Yang wouldn't be able to claim the throne. If it wasn't for Xiao Xian, the Xiao family probably wouldn't exist anymore. How can the prosperous Xiao family come now? Although Xiao Xian was a figure thousands of years ago, even after thousands of years, he still won too much for the Xiao family. But now, Xiao Yang has been searching for the resurrection method for 10 years. The hope in Xiao Yang's heart is completely broken by a word from Gu. Looking at Xiao Yang with a low expression, Gu frowned and thought. Time flows slowly in such a silent atmosphere. With the silence of Xiao Yang turned into a dead silence within 100 feet, and everything seemed very quiet. Even some warcraft are quietly crawling on the ground, the atmosphere is afraid to go out, and their hearts are replaced by full fear. Finally, the sky gradually turned dark, and it was evening. One day passed quietly. On the top of the mountain, the bone you, which has been standing still, is finally at this moment. The body trembled slightly, the head drooped slightly, raised slowly, looked to one side, and was still Xiao Yan with a low expression. At the next moment, the silence of the whole day was finally broken by Duyo. Ji Yu's eyes lit up and looked at Xiao Yan's godless posture. He clapped his hands heavily, and a look like this appeared on his old face. The move of Duyo also woke Xiao Yan, who had been depressed all day, and looked at Duyo with a blank face. Until Xiao Yan saw the look on Ji Yu's face, the look on his face changed slightly, and suddenly he was stunned. Then his eyes turned red quickly, his face was full of ecstatic surprise expression, and his sitting body stood up directly from the ground. But I don't know why, when Xiao Yan stood up just now, his legs and feet felt numb, and his body staggered. Only then could he stabilize his body. Xiao Yan's body was shocked and the numbness on his legs was completely eliminated. Then his eyes were full of expectation and looked at Ji Yu. After a long time, Xiao Yan's swallowed the smear with difficulty, which made his dry throat recover a little. Then he trembled his lips and asked Ji Yu word by word. Bone old, did you think of the resurrection method of my ancestors? Ji Yu heard the speech, nodded slightly and answered. Then Ji Yu said, the ghost of your ancestors is too fragile. If you don't pay attention, it may disappear completely. I've also thought about many methods before. I've considered hundreds of natural materials and earth treasures that can help the origin of the soul, but unfortunately, none of them is feasible. Although Ji Yu's methods failed, Xiao Yan calmed down and was not in a hurry. Since Ji Yu spoke at this time, how could he deceive himself? Sure enough, Ji Yu looked at Xiao Yan's calm face, nodded and continued to say. Until just now, I thought of a method, and if this method doesn't work, there will be no hope of reviving your ancestors. This method is to use the same fragile thing as the remnant soul of your ancestors to warm up, integrate and recover. And such a thing is the original power of the pure soul. This video will end here.